Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com. Boy, did we have a nice sell-off today. That was a little bit of a surprise. I really did not think we were going to go down as low as we did that fast, but man, it just dropped off a cliff, didn't it? Just fell right off that cliff. I had actually said in the other video I thought that we might have a move like this where it slowly worked its way up as it slowly worked its way down, but now I had decided just to fall right off a cliff and actually put in a deeper trough low, so there's no sign of it turning up just yet, but I think that will come tomorrow. I think we're going to drop down to here, at least to here, hit this level here. We may even pierce through it like I said in the other video and run right on down here to this top level in this area around 1300. That's a possibility as well. I think it will be quick in the morning, and then I think it's going to turn and probably try to work its way back up and end the day closing positive. Now, I'm not expecting a rally tomorrow, but maybe more like a slightly positive day, kind of a pause day or spinning top kind of candle pattern. But I think it's going to end up positive. It could go up, maybe retrace to the 38.2, but more likely a low like 23.6 retracement level if it retraces at all. But first, I do expect it to gap down. Noticed here in after hours that the market is off as much as 10 points. It's trying to recover now, but it was down as low as 1309 here on the ES. So, you know, that's obviously breaking this area here. It broke a big trend line is what it did of support on the ES. But we are moving down, as you can clearly see, as I thought we would, that we would go down here to -5, and we could go lower. We could go down here to -10 before it curls back up, and then you'd expect a nice rally back up as it works its way back up. But overall, I'm still expecting the week to close out negative, so you know, even if it does come down here and try to attempt back up, I'm not expecting it to take out this high or anything like that. If it gets 50% retracement, hey, that's great. But you know, I would say anywhere to 38.2% to 50%. It's about the most I could see for this week, and then we'll see what next week brings. I'm still unsure if this is a wave 1, then a 2, then a 3, then a 4, then a 5 on up to our fake print at 1388, or approximately. It's actually 138.86 from March of earlier this year. Or if that's not the case, if we've actually just started a wave 3 down, meaning that this is a wave 1, a wave 2, and we've started the wave 3 down. In that case, you just see a retracement and then another move down. So that's really unclear at this point. I don't know if this is the final top or not. I can't tell you. Let's see here. Let me try to get this. Okay. Now let's see. We look at the daily here. You can see the daily is hitting some support, lots of support right here. It did not close below it, but it certainly could pierce it intraday tomorrow, and then reverse and go back up a little bit, and maybe, you know, maybe we have a candle like this right here, this one here, or you know, or something like something of that nature. But I think it's going to end up closing positive with some type of bottoming tail here. So I think it's going to happen. I know you're probably saying, well, what about this right here? It's rolling over. Yes, it is. But remember how strong this move was up. You really shouldn't expect it to roll over and just go straight down without making some type of attempt to come up here and retrace some of this move. It just usually doesn't do that. Now, if it takes the next 1, 2, 3 days all the way into Friday and it just kind of chops sideways, putting in a bear flag, and then yeah, that would say that we're just going to roll right over and keep on going down. But I'm not sure what it's going to do at this point, whether or not it's going to continue on up or trade sideways, or maybe just slightly up. It's hard to say at this point. But as for tomorrow, I'm looking for a gap down in the morning to be started to turn and retrace by probably 11:30, noon at the latest, maybe even earlier. Depends on how far it goes down. And then the selling pressure to come back and the day to end up positive before it's over. On the weekly, you can see we are resting right on support. We've hit this before in the past, pierced it through the week, and then closed above it. You can see that. Okay, so yes, this is a topping tail here, but you know, this first week that we hit it, there's a strong possibility, even if we pierce down below it, strong possibility that the first week that we hit it, we should bounce off of it. So, and the only, if you look back at other time periods when you've hit them like that, well, here's one. You went down the first week it hit it, it rested right on it, did not close below it. The next week it closed below it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why by the end of this week, you look here at this blue area. If the moving average is 20 moving average, 13.17, I expect it to close above that before that's over with. But as far as how far we're going up on the weekly, I think it's going to be, again, what I said in the other video, is that we're going to work our way up here, and you can literally draw you a line right here, and I think when this hits this right here, it's going to roll back down. So between now and then, we could have a little choppy, so maybe some wild swings up and down like this as we work our way up here before it finally rolls back down. Again, I do not know if it's going to be one candle above, two candles above, but it is clearly losing strength from the bullish mode of being up here at 50, and now it's down here in the 20 and 14 area here on the MACDs. So slowly but surely it's approaching zero. When it dips below zero, it's going into bear territory. So, you know, I think it'll probably do that sometime in August. But as for the next couple of weeks, are going to be hard to predict, as this thing is still pointing up on the weekly basis while the daily is trying to roll over. So we just, you know, so we're not sure what's going to be. I really didn't expect this much of a selling, so that's why I expect them to probably do something like this right here. You basically have a pause day, and then maybe another pause day, and then run it up. I don't know if it's going to go up and take out that high. I still am not sure on that. But considering that the charts are kind of fighting each other, that this daily here is wanting to roll over while this weekly is still pushing up, even though it's working its way down, it's still pushing up. So that tells you it's kind of in recovery mode, is what I'm saying. Even though overall it is going down. That would indicate, that would also indicate what the monthly is doing, which the monthly is clearly showing that it is rolling over. So that's why I'm thinking August is really going to be ugly as it completely rolls over. We had some fake prints today. The VIX, I'm going to bring this down here for you. The VIX had a nice fake print. I posted it on the blog if you were not there. The fake print was right at this level, ironically. It I actually drew this level in afterwards. This is at, what's that say? Well, 2236. It was 2235, the fake print, and I've seen it numerous times throughout the day. This is the 60-minute chart. We will look at the 30-minute chart, and numerous times on the 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, even the 30-minute chart, when this thing opened, I'd see it pop up here, pop up here, pop up here. There was nothing here. I mean, I drew that line in. That line is not really that significant. This line is much more significant as a resistance line. So, you know, we ran right up to this and stopped. We ran right up to this and stopped. This is your downward sloping trend line here that should stop it. So if we do gap down tomorrow and this runs up here to that 22.35 area, it might just turn and sell right back down. You look at the MACD here on the 30-minute chart, you can see it's pretty overbought here, up here at 0.25 or above it. You see what happened here, how it rolled over, and you see it did it here when it got to 0.5. Looking at the 60-minute chart on it, and remember this does the opposite of the market, so look at the 60-minute chart, you can see the same thing. It's still rising, but it's getting up here to a point where it looks like it could go and roll over at any time. So I think after it does go up, if it breaks that and keeps on going, maybe it'll fill this gap right here. That's a possibility. I don't know if it's going to do that or not. All I know is we did have a fake print of that, and we are hitting that trend line. A pierce of it and then a fallback would be a logical move to happen if you wanted to get this VIX going up on the longer term, breaking out of this downward sloping triangle, I guess. If you drew this one out right here and drew this here, you could call this whole thing a triangle, or wedge, I guess, a bearish wedge, and it would be breaking up, and then it might go back and back test it later in the week as the market catches a bid and rallies up some. Looking at this on the 2-hour, and you can still see same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars up, and still moving up on the 2-hour. So this tells me we got some more downside. There's no guarantee that the fake print, when it hits it, it's going to reverse from it, but in this case, I do believe this fake print was real, and then we are going to hit it. So we might gap up and turn and hit it tomorrow morning. Okay, so that is that on that chart. Let's let me get the other chart here, which was the dollar. This was interesting because the dollar chart here showed a fake print. Trying to get this down here. The dollar chart showed a fake print of several times. It showed a fake print down here to 21.25, I believe is what it was. Let me stick on my where I posted it. 21. Let's see here. I posted it on the blog. 21.25. That is correct. So okay, so in this area here, all day long, I kept seeing this long tail come down here to 21.25. Now you look through here, back through here, and there's really nothing in this area that would indicate an opening or closing price at 21.25. So you're thinking, well, what the heck does that mean? It's not like it hit this level here, which could have been a 1, 2, 3 day late fill. I don't buy it. If it would have went to right here and it went to here, then I'd say, okay, it's a late fill from this candle from the open. You know, if you see it move down to where it opened, that means that somebody had an order in to sell or whatever prior to the market, and they filled it late. That's why that print would not be valid. It's not here anymore, as you can see, but it did show up several times, and so I do believe that's valid. So what's that mean? That means after we go up and hit the fake print on the VIX, I am expecting a move on the dollar toward the selling down to 21.25. The timing of it, I don't know. You know, the timing of it could be, you know, Wednesday or Thursday of this week before it starts to head down. But it simply means to me that I think they're going to try to tank the dollar. Okay, some trend lines here I have drawn on the SPY, just to let you know where I see. I know it looks pretty crazy here, but you see the gap down here, and you see it gap below this trend line and went on down, and I think that tomorrow morning we're going to go down and hit this trend line right here. I think this is a very major one, as you can see where it hits. We'll go out to the daily and you'll see it much better on the daily, I do believe. You can see how important it is. The one right there that we got below was from there. You can see here on the daily. And you see lots of support right here on this one. This long one here goes all the way back to March of 2009. So that was the reason that the market never breached that and rode up and down it the entire time. I went back and drew that line in after the fact. But you can see that even if we hit this major trend line right here that connects the May 2nd high to the high right here on the February 18th on down, if we hit that tomorrow, we could bounce from it for a few days. Then we could go back up here and possibly hit this trend line as resistance. But I think we could very well be working our way right on down to this 127.50 over the next few weeks if things don't turn around. We break this line and it's this market's just going to collapse. That's a very important line. Let me show you here on the 5-year chart so you can see. You see it here? All the way up to here, to here. You see where we hit it right there? I know it's just kind of all cluttered up in here, but you can see where we hit it and bounced off of it, and then we had that huge week up of manipulation, and then that topping tail. Now we're on this week. So when this line goes, this market's going down like a rock, buddy. That's all there is to it. So we zoom in on that. You can see exactly where this line is. Remember, I drew this line after, you know, these here were here, and the market knew it was there. I didn't know it was there. But 60-day chart here on the SPY, again, as you can clearly see, I think this is where we're going. We can zoom in a little bit on this, but I think we're going to go down to here and then eventually work our way down to here. But well, in the short term, I think there's more selling in the morning, and then I think once it bottoms very quickly, I think that it will be a opportunity to exit all your shorts, not necessarily go long, but to exit your shorts. You know, I am actually looking at shorting the VIX when it hits that area, that fake print. So we move this in here and look at this, and this is our major trend line again, hitting all this area right here. You can see where this drops to. So this area right here is about 13.11 approximately, and you can clearly see here the market is very oversold down here and ready to turn back up at any time. So what's going to stop it? That daily chart rolling over, but the 60-minute chart should give it a few days lift, 2-3 days lift, even though the daily is rolling over. This, you know, because this is very, very oversold. One of the reasons that it went so deep was because of the daily turning at the same time that the 60 was turning. You get the daily and the 60 turning together, and then the weekly trading kind of sideways and giving no direction. If it gives anything, it's actually kind of bearish a little bit. You get those together and you've got yourself a wave 3 down, and that's kind of what we've had. So when you want to catch the wave 3s, you look for the daily and the 60 and the weekly all line up together pointing down. You get those and you get your wave 3s, put your nice moves down. So again, I think we're going to drop down here and hit this area right here, and we're going to bounce. Again, we could pierce it going down here to this 1300 level, just below there. Was that 1290? I don't know, 1295 to 1297, just below 1300. But I really think it's going to bounce here at least into Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll see about Friday. I don't know about Friday, but into Wednesday I think it's going to bounce. So Let's see here. I think that covers everything with my charts. Let's go back to looking here with Ron's charts. Okay, same thing here. Again, I'm showing you the same picture. 30-minute chart, you can see it's moving up. It's trying to move up, but you would expect a gap down. Then put in 3 higher lows, being which would be positive divergence as the market goes down, and you'd expect this to turn. I mean, look where it's at, -5. When it was down here at -5, what did it do? It turned and went up and gained from 1262 up to 1282, gained 20 points. Boom. Before it finally went back down, then it moved again. So that's why it could take 2 days. You could see a down move first and then back up to recover it, and putting in a pause day, and then a bigger move on a Wednesday. Looking here back at all these different periods, when you get down here to -5, you pretty much have a rally right here. This one here at -5 traded sideways a little while, then it went up. Here it did not. It traded sideways a long time. I'm sure at this time the daily was also pointing down, and probably the 60 as well. So you've got to match them up with the other charts as well. So what I'm saying here is that basically I think we're going to gap down in the morning and put in some type of bottoming tail. I think our target's somewhere in this 1311 area. If it goes lower than that, then we're going on down to this area here, and which it could be a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe a little 4 here, then a 5. It's, I'm not an Elliotician on this, so and then we should have some type of small recovery. But overall, it's looking bearish right now, very bearish, obviously, and I think that's about it. I think I've covered about everything. The ES, that was one other thing I wanted to go over here. The ES, I drew some trend lines in on it, and let's see here. Okay, so here's some trend lines in on the ES. It is down right now as I am doing this video at 10 o'clock at night. It is down 10 points. So, that's pretty ugly. This trend line right here was where it was holding all day long. And that was a very important trend line if you go back 6 months here. And you can see why. It is a very, very important trend line. And it connects the high there in May. Is that May the 2nd? Yes. To the high on June 1st. All the way down to here. It held on to that all day long and broke it after hours right now. So will it stay that way, or will it bounce off of it? I'm kind of leaning towards it bouncing tomorrow morning and exhaustion move down. Even though the daggone thing is really rolling over here, I think we're going to have at least some type of recovery. Not a lot, not from what it's looking like here, but again, maybe as much as 38.2%. I don't know if we're going to get that up. Maybe just a 23.6, but some fib level of retracement. Looking again here on the 60-minute, and you can see how it is after hours, struggling quite a bit, and there's no support until it gets down to this next line down here at 1265. No major support. I guess you could draw a line here, a horizontal line. That could be some even number. 1300 is just a psychological number as well for support on the ES. Let's go to the 2 hour. Well, looking down here also, you can see here it's curling back down again. Here it went down to every bit as low as negative 7.5 and moved It continued down. Look at that, continued down. Here it could very well do the same. So let's look at the 2 hour. 2 hours buried as well to 7.5. It's got the makings of at least stopping tomorrow morning, at least stopping and rallying some. I'm not expecting a lot on Tuesday, more of a flat day, slightly up. Wednesday, I think that they would try their best to rally it up at that point. Whether or not it's going to be a squeeze, another bear squeeze or not, is anybody's guess. But it is certainly looking like it should bounce. So tomorrow I can come here and look at this, and this trend line right here, they could have rallied back and recaptured this tomorrow morning. Because by tomorrow morning, the trend line will be lower. Of course, right now it's sitting at 13.15, but by 9:30 in the morning tomorrow, it could be down here at 13. I don't know, 13 or 13.12. It's going down, as you can clearly see. It's hard to say. So they recapture it, maybe then sell off a gap down in the morning again, and then rally back. But the ES is looking ugly for the night. So those of you short, I think you're going to be happy tomorrow morning, as the market will probably tank early on, and you should be able to get out with a nice profit. Okay, guys, I think I have covered everything of what I'm seeing here on the chart. So it's pretty simple. Gap down, you see the first bottoming tail. That's your probably signal to get out and just go to the sidelines. I'm not trusting the long side right now, but at least not on the first attempt. But exiting shorts would probably be a good idea, especially going into OPEX. You know, they're going to try to chop it sideways and try to get some momentum into OPEX and pin this thing. I'd say there's lots of put buyers on board right now, and they're going to have to run it up to some level to make it expire worthless. So we shall see. All right, guys, sorry for such a long video. There's just a lot of stuff that I covered today after the fact that I didn't cover in the other video. Good luck, everyone. See you on the blog tomorrow.